Okay, so you've identified your ideal customer profile. You have used a CRM to find out a little bit more around those types of customers and the types of individuals you could perform outreach to. Now you want to perform your outreach, which is literally reaching out to people and making them aware of what you can do and the skills you bring. So this is where you need your confidence to ramp up, right?
Hmm.
Because up until now, it's been some personal development stuff on you. You've been identifying your skills and values. You've been doing a bit of research, but that stuff isn't really scary because there's no feedback coming back to you. When we start getting into the zone where feedback comes back to us,
Hmm.
that's when we all get a bit scared because people don't like getting feedback, and people specifically don't like getting negative feedback, right? That doesn't feel good for anyone. So so that's why the outreach process can be a bit scary because we can be hesitant about the feedback that comes back to us. However, you are not going to be able to advance yourself as confidently or effectively if you don't take that leap of faith and you don't put yourself out there. So I can't remember what the saying is, but don't get 100% of the sales that you don't ask for,
Yeah,
right?
you
You
don't
only
score
get the
100% of the
sales.
shots you don't take. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. You've
Yeah.
got to be in it to win it. So
So what
there's
do I
all
do? So I've identified Marilyn, for example. I'm going to reach out to Marilyn. What should I do? Is it an email, like a LinkedIn connection? And what words do I use?
Mm. So try and do a bit of everything, right? So firstly, try and do a connection request on LinkedIn, trying to connect with me human to human, right? And sometimes you can write an introduction in that LinkedIn request, or you can just ping a LinkedIn request and start off by seeing if that person accepts you.
Yep.
So form some level of connection. Now, in an email format, you want to be really targeted with your information. You want to be able to give that person very quickly a view of why you're reaching out, why they should read on or listen to you, and what you have to offer. Again, notice I've done 3 points
Yep.
so that we can be nice and succinct
Yep.
in our approach.
And by the way,
Um,
is the why
mhm.
I'm reaching out effectively, I want a job? Is that what I'm saying?
It could be, but you could find more empowering ways to connect, right? I'm reaching out to you because I have been reviewing this company's performance and I love the new products that you've released over the last year. And I would love to be the salesperson that promotes these products out to customers and helps the company to grow. I mean, that's more empowering than, hey,
Yep.
I'm reaching out because I'm looking for a job.
Yep.
Again, it's more empowering because the language was focused on them versus me, right? It
Right.
was like, I'm inspired by you because this is what I want to do. This is what I could bring versus I have a problem. Can you help me fix
Hmm.
it? It's a different dynamic.
You're almost
Um,
doing the flip, aren't you? You're almost
mhm.
saying, I recognize a problem that I could solve for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And sales really is all about that presenting a solution to the audience member. So again, if you can identify a problem that they have. So for instance, sometimes you search a company website and you see the same job description come up
Hmm. Hmm.
again and again and again, and maybe the hook or the line in is, hi, I've noticed you've been advertising for data analysts for over 6 months. I'd like to present myself as your future candidate because these are the skills that I could bring to help you elevate this department, or, increase your data management.
That
So
sounds so powerful.
yeah, and it's a bit you want to show your research in there as well, because hopefully you have research, right? You've been doing your research before, so throw a bit of that research in, because most people will just go in with a, hey, this is me, this is what I want. But if you can prove that desire is there, or there's that passion there, people hire people that they like and they want, right? So
Yep.
if you can demonstrate that fire in the belly early
Yep.
on, then it should help you to open
How do
doors.
I not come across as a personal or company stalker? This, you leave a bit of a footprint. I've looked at your personal LinkedIn profile 10 times in the last 4 days, and I've done loads and loads of research on the company, and I've got all of this information, and now I'm coming to you with it. It can
Yeah.
it can sort of feel a bit creepy.
Yeah. First thing, don't be creepy.
Right, good.
Flick
Yeah, no
yourself
creeps. Yeah.
into the audience member. So, what would be an appropriate cadence for your interaction? So, if you are looking at someone's LinkedIn profile daily for months, oh,
Hmm.
that feels a bit intense.
Yep.
If you are emailing someone once a week, that feels really acceptable. People are
Hmm.
super busy. If you think about how emails come in, this happens all the time, right? I see an email and I'm like, oh, that's really good. I'm going to come back to that. I go off, make myself a cup of tea. I come back and my email has dropped about 15 spaces, right? Because 15 emails have come in.
Yep. Yep.
And then I do a bit of project work and I come back and I get another 15 emails. Suddenly, the email that was top of my mind earlier has dropped down 30 places and has gone from my visual screen. So
Yeah.
I might not come back to it. So contacting someone once a week feels very acceptable in terms of business times. I would say no more regularly than every 3 days. I think that can feel a little bit like hounding. So it's
Right.
really important to put yourself in the position of that recipient. What would feel acceptable and appropriate to you?
Mm.
And also, the way you follow up on emails is really important. Make sure your tone isn't desperate, isn't angry, isn't frustrated. Naturally, if we come into a relationship uh, process, thinking good of people, being compassionate, being really mindful of where people are at and what they've got going on, then your communication will follow. So a follow-up email that says, hi, I'd just like to check in whether there's the opportunity to meet with you to talk about my skill set. I'm still super passionate about this job role, and I do hope it hasn't it hasn't been offered elsewhere yet. Feels very different to, hi, I'm sending you another email as I
Mm.
haven't heard from a response. Hope everything's okay. Can we set up an interview? The tones are completely
Yeah.
different.
You're right. There is this trend on LinkedIn, particularly, where someone will ping you about something, and maybe it's not appealing, it's just not relevant, and therefore you don't spend the time to reply. And then 2 days later, they go, "I'm really offended that you haven't replied to my message," and it just makes it worse, right?